Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, we continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 13. We finished reading the description of the dynasty of Kush. Then we began reading the dynasty of Nimi Maharaj, another son of Maharaj Ikshvaku. And we heard how Nimi Maharaj wanted to do a sacrifice. Vasishtha Muni was already engaged. He was busy doing the sacrifice for Lord Indra. But Nimi Maharaj, being a self-realized soul, understood that every moment of life is very important and that life should be utilized in devotional service to the Lord. So, so he was considering why wait then to do the sacrifice. So then we read on. Shishya Vyatikramam Vikshya
Shishya Vyatikraman Vikshya
Tam Nirvartya Gato Guruhu
Tam Nirvartya Agato Guruhu
Ashapat Patata Deho
Ashapat Patata Deho
Nime Panditamaninaha.
Nime Pandita Maninaha.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. After completing the sacrificial performance for King Indra, the spiritual master Vasishtha returned and found that his disciple Maharaj Nimi had disobeyed his instructions. Thus Vasishtha cursed him, saying, "May the material body of Nimi, who considers himself learned, immediately fall." So Vasishtha Muni is upset at Maharaj Nimi that why didn't you wait for me? He's cursed him. Nimi prati dadau shapam
Nimihi Pratidadau Shapam
guruve dharmavartine
Guruve Dharma Vartine
avapi patata deho
Tavapi Padatadeho
lobha dharmam ajanataha.
Lobha Dharmam Ajanataha.
For unnecessarily cursing him when he had committed no offense, Maharaj Nimi countercursed his spiritual master. For the sake of getting contributions from the King of Heaven, he said, "You have lost your religious intelligence. Therefore, I pronounce this curse. Your body also will fall." So we can see that Nimi Maharaj is also so powerful. Huh? The religious principle for a Brahmana is that he should not be greedy at all. In this case, however, for the sake of more lucrative emanations from the King of Heaven, Vasishtha neglected Maharaj Nimi's request on this planet, and when Nimi performed the sacrifices with other priests, Vasishtha unnecessarily cursed them. When one is infected by contaminated activities, his power, material or spiritual, reduces. Although Vasishtha was the spiritual master of Maharaj Nimi, because of his greed, he became fallen. So Maharaj Nimi is saying, see, you got greedy, you wanted to get more charity from King of Heaven, Indra. Of course, you know, like in every sacrifice we've been hearing that the priests were given so much charity. So then Vasishtha Muni also would have gotten a lot of charity. So then Nimi Maharaj is saying, because you wanted so much contribution, that was your intention, and then you neglected my appeal to do the yajna. And so because of his greed, then his power to discriminate is lost. Your Prabhupada is mentioning that when one is infected by contaminated activities, his power, material or spiritual, reduces. So here Vasishtha Muni, because he wanted more contribution. So then, because of this contamination, his power to discriminate is lost. And then that's how he has cursed Nimi Maharaj unnecessarily, although there was no need to curse him. And we can see that Nimi Maharaj is also very powerful, that he has counter-cursed Vashishta. Any comments? Okay. Iti utsasarja swamdeham
इति उत्ससर्जस्य स्वयं देहं
nimir adhyatmako vida
निमि अध्यात्मको विदः
mitra varuna yor jagye
मित्रावरुणयो जज्ञे
urvashayam prapitamaha.
उर्वशायां प्रपीतामह.
After saying this, Maharaj Nimi, who was expert in the science of spiritual knowledge, gave up his body. Vashishta, the great-grandfather, gave up his body also. But through the semen discharged by Mitra and Varuna, when they saw Urvashi, he was born again. Mitra and Varuna chanced to meet Urvashi, the most beautiful prostitute of the heavenly kingdom, and they became lusty. Because they were great saints, they tried to control their lust, but they could not do so, and thus they discharged semen. The semen was kept carefully in a water pot, and Vashishta was born from it. So Vashishta has given up his original body, and now Mitra and Varuna, they have gotten excited when they saw Urvashi. And it says that they are great saints. They tried to control their lust, they were unable to do so. So the semen they discharged was kept in a water pot, and then Vashishta is born from it. Gandha vastushu taddeham
गन्धवस्तुषु तद्देहं
nidhaya muni sattamaha
निधाय मुनिसत्तमः
samapte satra yage cha
समाप्ते यागे च
devan ucca samagatan.
देवानुसमागतान्.
During the performance of the yajna, the body relinquished by Maharaj Nimi was preserved in fragrant substances. And at the end of the Satra Yag, the great saints and Brahmanas made the following request to all the demigods assembled there. So Maharaj Nimi was saying that he was expert in spiritual knowledge. He was self-realized. So the Brahmanas, they had preserved the body of Maharaj Nimi. They have preserved it. And then they are requesting the demigods. So because the yajna was going on, so till the time they have preserved the body, and then now they are putting a request to the demigods. Ragyo jivatu deho yam
राज्यो जीवतु देहोऽयम्
prasanna prabhavo yati
प्रसन्नाः प्रभवो यदि
tatheti ukte nimi praha
तथेत्ययुक्ते निमिः प्राह
ma bhun me deha bandhanam.
मा भूमे देहबन्धनम्.
If you are satisfied with the sacrifice, and if you are actually able to do so, kindly bring Maharaj Nimni back to life in this body. The demigod said yes to this request by the sages. But Maharaj Nimi said, please do not imprison me again in a material body. The demigods are in a position many times higher than that of human beings. Therefore, although the great saints and sages were also powerful brahmanas, they requested the demigods to revive Maharaj Nimi's body, which had been preserved in various perfumed mounds. One should not think that the demigods are powerful only in enjoying the senses. They are also powerful in such deeds as bringing life back to a dead body. So, Prabhupada is pointing out that the demigods are not only expert in sense enjoyment or sense gratification, but they also have powers. They are much more powers than the human beings. They can bring, uh, they can bring back people from the dead. So, there are similar instances in the Vedic literature. For example, according to the history of Savitri and Satyavan, Satyavan died and was being taken away by Yamraj. But on the request of his wife Savitri, Satyavan was revived in the same body. This is an important fact about the power of the demigods. So Prabhupada is mentioning this popular instance, right? Popular Savitri and Satyavan, and then she was so chaste and she requested Yamaraj, no, you please give me back my husband, bring him back to life. And Yamaraj has brought him back to life in the same body. So certainly demigods are very powerful. Okay. Yasya yogam na vanchanti
यस्य योगं न वाञ्छन्ति
viyoga bhaya kartara
योगभयकातरः
bhajanti charanam bhojam
भजन्ति चरणाम्भोजम्
manayo harimedasa.
मुनयो हरिमेधसा
Maharaj Nemi continued, Mayavadis generally want freedom from accepting a material body because they have fear having to give it up again. But devotees whose intelligence is always filled with the service of the Lord are unafraid. Indeed, they take advantage of the body to render transcendental loving service. Maharaj Nimi did not want to accept a material body, which would be a cause of bondage, because he was a devotee. He wanted a body by which he could render devotional service to the Lord. So Maharaj Nimi is saying that it's not that I don't want a body, material body, because I know, oh, I have to give it up again. That's a Mayavadi thought. But rather, I want a body in which I can engage in devotional service. That is the mood of a devotee. So a devotee says, okay, whatever I have, I serve Krishna with it. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur sings, Janmambi more chayaditor, Bhakta grihe jani janma ho more, Kita janma ho yatha tu yadas. My Lord, if you want me to take birth and accept a material body again, kindly do me this favor. Allow me to take birth in the home of your servant, your devotee. I do not mind being born there, even as an insignificant creature like an insect. So here, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, we can see his humility. Certainly Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he's a Nitya Siddha. But how he's teaching us how our mood should be. There's so much humility here. He's not saying that you bring me back home, back to Godhead. He's not saying, you give me this or that. But he's saying, okay, even if I have to take birth again, you do me a favor. That you make me an ant. But what does he want? In the home of a devotee. In your devotee's house. Like an insignificant creature. Because then in the home of a devotee, If he is an ant, he can get these small crumbles of prasad. Yeah. He's in the house of the devotee. He can always hear the singing of the Lord's glories going on. He can have the crumbs of the prasad of the devotee. Can get the dust of the lotus feet of the devotee. So here we can see how Bhaktivinoda Thakur is showing us a mood of humility here. Is that okay?
Yes.
Yeah. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also said, Na dhanam na janam na sundarim, kavitam vaj jagadisha kamaye, mama janmani janmanishvare, bhavatad bhaktir ahaitu kitoi. So this is in the Shikshastakam, the fourth verse of Shikshastakam, where Lord Chaitanya, after saying Trinada Visunichena, then he's saying Na dhanam na janam. O Lord of the universe, I do not desire material wealth, materialistic followers, a beautiful wife, or fruitive activities described in flowery language. All I want, life after life, is unmoted devotional service to you. Shikshastaka 4. By saying life after life, Janmani Janmani, the Lord referred not to an ordinary birth, but a birth in which to remember the lotus feet of the Lord. Such a body is desirable. A devotee does not think like yogis and jnanis who want to refuse a material body and become one with the impersonal Brahman effulgence. A devotee does not like this idea. On the contrary, he will accept any body, material or spiritual, for he wants to serve the Lord. This is real liberation. So a devotee will never say, oh, I don't want any body. He says, well, I have to accept a body. So whichever body it may be a material body or it may be a spiritual body. I always want to render service to the Lord. I always want to remember the Lord. So like this kind of a material body is not an ordinary body. Yeah. The body of the devotee, the pure devotee, is not an ordinary material body. So this is real liberation, Prabhupada says. If one has a strong desire to serve the Lord, even if he accepts a material body, there is no cause of anxiety, since a devotee, even in a material body, is a liberated soul. So someone may say, oh, well, I'm still in the material world, I have a material body. But Prabhupada is explaining that there's no need to be fearful about this, because the mood of a devotee is, wherever I am, I just serve Krishna. So, and a pure devotee, he's always liberated. Whether he's in material world or, of course, if he's in the spiritual world, of course. But even in the material world, also he's always liberated. This is confirmed by Srila Rupa Goswami. Iha yasya harer dasya karmana manasa gira. Nikhilasva api avastha sujivan mukta sa uchyate. A person acting in Krishna consciousness, or in other words, in the service of Krishna, with his body, mind, intelligence, and words, is a liberated person, even within the material world. Although he may be engaged in many so-called material activities. So Srila Rupa Goswami is saying that the pure devotee, he may be doing so many activities, but what is the consciousness of every activity he is doing? To please Krishna. By his words, he wants to please Krishna. By his mind, he wants to please Krishna. By his words, he wants to please Krishna. By his intelligence, he wants to please Krishna. So the desire to serve the Lord establishes one as liberated in any condition of life, whether in a spiritual body or a material body. So the desire, what is our desire? Is it our desire to serve Krishna, or is our desire to serve Maya? Who do we want to serve? Serve we have to, because that's our original position, our dharma, our natural inclination, our natural propensity is to serve. And the choice is ours. Who do we want to serve? So the devotee, his desire is always to serve Krishna. And he does that. He serves Krishna by his body, mind, words, and intelligence. So, in a spiritual body, the devotee becomes a direct associate of the Lord. But even though a devotee may superficially appear to be in a material body, he is always liberated and is engaged in the same duties of service to the Lord as a devotee in Vaikuntha Lok. So, in the spiritual world, of course, the devotee, he's directly seeing the Lord face to face, directly an associate of the Lord, right? So, but Prabhupada is pointing out that even he may still be in the material world, but he's still liberated. Why? Because he's still serving the Lord, same as any Vaikuntha Vasi is doing. And any devotee in the Vaikuntha Lok, as he's serving the Lord. The pure devotee may be in the material world, but he's also serving the Lord. So there's no distinction. It is said, sadhur jivo va marova. Whether a devotee is alive or dead, his only concern is to serve the Lord. You know, the benediction that the sadhu gives the devotee. The sadhur jivo va marova. Whether you die or whether you remain alive, it's the same. By living here in the material world, you're serving Krishna, and after you die, you're going to continue to serve Krishna in the spiritual world. That is a devotee. His only concern is to serve the Lord. Tyaktva deham punarjanmana iti mameti. When he gives up his body, he goes directly to become an associate of the Lord and serve him. Although he does the same thing, even in a material body, in the material world. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay, let's try to read this paragraph. For a devotee, there is no pain, pleasure, or material perfection. One may argue that at the time of death, a devotee also suffers because of giving up his material body. But in this connection, the example may be given that a cat carries a mouse in its mouth and also carries a kitten in its mouth. Both the mouse and the kitten are carried in the same mouth, but the perception of the mouse is different from that of the kitten. When a devotee gives up his body, tyaktva deham, he is ready to go back home, back to Godhead. Thus his perception is certainly different from that of a person being taken away by Yamraj for punishment. A person whose intelligence is always concentrated upon the service of the Lord is unafraid of accepting a material body, whereas a non-devotee, having no engagement in the service of the Lord, is very much afraid of accepting a material body or giving up his present one. So Prabhupada is saying that someone may point out that, okay, but at the time of death, the devotee is also going to suffer, death is going to come to him, he has to give up the body. So Prabhupada is saying there is a difference when a devotee is giving up the body and when a non-devotee is giving up the body. When a person who has never served Krishna is giving up a body, he's afraid of giving up the body. He doesn't know where he's going to go. He's full of anxiety. But when a devotee is giving up his body, he knows that wherever he goes, he just is going to serve Krishna. So there's no anxiety for him. There's no fear for him. He's like, I don't care. I may go to hell or I may go to Vaikuntha. Or I may be in earthly planets or whatever body I get. I'm just going to serve Krishna. So the example Prabhupada is explaining is a cat. Cat carries the mouse in its mouth. But that is because cat is going to eat the mouse. Similarly, the cat is also carrying her kittens in the mouth. And that's because she's protecting the kittens. So the kittens are feeling safe in the mouth of their mother, whereas the mouse is fearful that he's going to die. So there is a difference. Therefore, we should follow the instruction of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mama Janmani Janmanishwarare Bhavatad Bhaktir Ahaitukitwai. It doesn't matter whether we accept a material body or a spiritual body. Our only ambition should be to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Prabhupada is saying this is how the devotee becomes fearless. Doesn't matter to the devotee. Wherever he's going to serve Krishna. So Prabhupada is saying we should follow this instruction of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mama Janmani Janmanishware Bhavatad Bhaktar Ahaitukitwai. Oh my Lord, I don't care where I'm going to go, whether material world or spiritual world, but always please engage me in your devotional service. Okay. Did you all want to add anything? Anyone?
So this is all in context with Nimi Maharaj desire, like what he is saying. I don't want to take the material body, and it is not that I am scared, right?
Yeah, that's right. He said that the devotee just wants to serve the Lord.
Serve Krishna. Yeah. Wow.
So no need to be scared here. That's why Prabhupada in the purport is giving so many examples that a devotee need not be scared. Because even if he gets a material body, he has to serve the Lord. Even if he gets a spiritual body, he has to serve the Lord. So wherever he goes, he's going to serve the Lord. And that's why he's not anxious. He's not fearful. So when death comes, he's like, okay, let death come. I'm going to go on and serve the Lord anyway.
I was just thinking that how whatever is going in your mind, it's answered by Krishna in such a beautiful way, like how Bhakta Priya Mataji is asking us to pray, and how beautifully in a connection this verse has come today. So all the doubts are, cleared, and it is so beautiful in that connection.
Yeah, true. I was thinking the same. Yeah.
Yeah, it just came to my mind the same thing, that wow, Krishna is so merciful. Like,
Yeah. So we
Yeah, I
once
was
again
listening
pray.
yesterday also, like devotee, to always be a devotee, the Lord. So, devotee in Hindi we say bhakt, right? So, what's the meaning of bhakt? How that word came? That bhakt. Bhakt means means Bhagwan, the Lord. Akt is asakti, attachment. So, that's what always attached to Bhagwan, to the
Bhakt, Asakti for Bhagavan. Oh, I can't hear you suddenly. Am I cut out? Hare Krishna. Is it my internet again? I don't